Good evening, I'm Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Foreign Minister NP South states the demands of ex-British Gurkha soldiers should be addressed by the British government, says demands including equal pension yet to be addressed. Political parties positive on moving forward the bill on transitional justice. Government requests for more time to resolve disputed issues to conclude the bill. Pakistan's newly formed parliament elects Shehbaz Sharif as Prime Minister for a second time 3 weeks after uncertain national elections caused delays in the formation of a coalition government. And the match between Netherlands and Namibia under triangular T20 international series abandoned due to rain. Netherlands to face host Nepal in this Tuesday's final. Minister for Foreign Affairs NP South has said the British government should address legitimate demands made by former Gurkha soldiers. The minister made the remarks at a meeting of the International Relations and Tourism Committee. Minister South added the meeting between the two governments on February 21st had made some progress. However, the demand for equal pension, among others, had yet to be addressed. The minister informed the remaining issues would be raised at the committee meeting scheduled for March 27 in London. Prime Minister Dahal and the minister had raised the issue of former Gurkha soldiers during the Nepal visit by British State Minister Andrew Mitchell.
भूतपूर्व ब्रिटिश गोर्खाहरूका जायज मागहरू बेलायती सरकारले सम्बोधन गर्न सक्छ र गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने सरकारको धारणा रहेको छ। नेपाल सरकारको चाहना भनेको भूतपूर्व गोर्खाहरूले न्याय पाउन् भन्ने नै हो।
Meanwhile, lawmakers criticized the Foreign Affairs Minister NP South for failing to keep a tab on the issue. Political parties are positive on moving forward the bill on transitional justice. During today's meeting of the Parliament's Law, Justice and Human Rights Committee, lawmakers of the ruling and opposition parties were positive on concluding the bill on transitional justice. Today's meeting ended after the government demanded some time to conclude some differences on several issues and to hold another meeting. The date for the next meeting will be set by the Parliament Secretariat. As discussions between political parties were held with an aim to conclude the bill on transitional justice, today's meeting of the Law, Justice and Human Rights Committee, which was scheduled to start at 11 a.m., only started at 1:30 p.m. Earlier this morning, Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal held separate discussions on the bill with Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Dewa and CPN-UML Chair KP Sharma Oli. The parties are divided on 4 issues of the bill. The Federal Parliament's Education, Health and Information Technology Committee has drawn the attention of the government to investigate the death of Charlene Pokhrel, a student of Sishu Niketan School in Chitwan, and take actions against the guilty. Holding a meeting today, the committee said that the incident that took place at the hostel of Sishu Niketan was unfortunate and urged the government to provide justice to the family of the victim. The committee also issued a directive to the Education Ministry to carry out monitorings of hostels across the country, making sure that they are following required criteria and making sure that they are safe and student-friendly. Speaking at the meeting, lawmakers urged the government to investigate the death of Charlene Pokhrel and bring out the truth. 2 people were killed and 5 others seriously injured when a school bus hit them at Bindi of Dhanusha's Janakpur Dham sub-metropolis today. The bus of Angel School hit them at Bindi along the Janakpur Jaleshwar Road section. According to the District Police Office Dhanusha, the deceased have been identified as 35-year-old Rakhi Devi Yadav and 58-year-old Devkali Devi Sa. 4 females and a child were also injured in the accident. Furious locals vandalized the bus. Police personnel were deployed in the areas after the situation was tense. The injured are being treated at the Provincial Hospital, Janakpur Dham. Now, the weather changed across the country today. Light to moderate rainfall occurred at various parts of the country, including Kathmandu Valley. According to Meteorological Forecasting Division, light to moderate rainfall is occurring everywhere except the Tarai region of Madhya Province and Koshi Province. Light to moderate snowfall is also occurring in the high hilly and Himalayan region of Karnali, Gandaki and far western provinces. Due to the effects of westerly winds, there will be more rain in the western part of the country and there will be less effect of the wind if the wind comes from the east. The Meteorological Forecasting Division has said that there will be gradual improvement in the weather from tomorrow. as the pre-monsoon has already started. The forecasting division also said that there may be an effect of local winds and rain with thunderstorm that may begin. It is time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what's your take on development expenses not increasing even as preparations for the new budget have started? Your options are A, lack of willpower, B, feeble administrative mechanism, and C, no money. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. It is time now for the international update. Pakistan's newly formed parliament elected Shehbaz Sharif on Sunday as Prime Minister for a second time, 3 weeks after uncertain national elections caused delays in the formation of a coalition government. National Assembly Speaker Ayaz Sadiq said, after announcing Sharif had secured 201 votes, above the required 169 in the House, that Shehbaz Sharif was elected the Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. He beat Omar Ayub, the candidate backed by jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan, who secured 92 votes. The declaration was met with loud protests from Sunni Ittihad Council Party, backed by Khan. The lawmakers called for Khan's release and shouted slogans alleging Sharif had come to power through election rigging. The February 8 election was marred by mobile internet shutdown, arrests and violence in its build-up, and the unusually delayed results triggered accusations that the vote was rigged. Sharif returned to the role he held until August, when Parliament was dissolved ahead of the elections and a caretaker government took over. No single party won a majority. The 72-year-old is the younger brother of three-time Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, who spearheaded their Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz PMLN party's election campaign. Candidates backed by Khan gained the most seats, but the PMLN and the Pakistan People's Party agreed to form a coalition government, which enabled Shehbaz Sharif to be elected as Prime Minister as his brother stepped aside. A Hamas delegation has reportedly arrived in Cairo, Egypt today, raising hopes of a ceasefire in the Israel-Gaza war. An unnamed U.S. official has said Israel has more or less accepted the deal. The U.S. says the 6-week pause would see the release of more Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners. Pressure for a deal intensified after last Thursday's incident outside Gaza City in the north of the territory, where at least 112 people were killed as crowds rushed an aid convoy. Egyptian officials who have been running the talks with Qatar said delegations from both Hamas and Israel were expected to attend the negotiations. Hamas is reported to have said that an agreement on a truce could be reached within the next 24 to 48 hours, with a source from the group telling Egyptian media a deal dependent on Israel agreeing to its demands. Expectations of a deal were raised after a senior U.S. official said Israel, for its part, had basically agreed a framework for a 6-week ceasefire. The Israel military launched a large-scale air and ground campaign to destroy Hamas after its gunmen killed about 1,200 people in southern Israel on the 7th of October and took 253 back to Gaza as hostages. Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry has said at least 30,410 people, including 21,000 children and women, have been killed in Gaza since then, with some 7,000 missing and 71,700 others injured. Now, born a few weeks into the Gaza war, twins Wissam and Naim Abu Anza have been buried. They were the youngest of 14 members of the same family, who Gaza health authorities say were killed in an Israeli airstrike in Rafah overnight.
الزنبهم هذول نايمين ولا احنا بنطوف ولا بنحار ولا شيء، نايمين والله نايمين بزورنا عنا نازحين. ايش ذنبهم هذول؟ قولوا لي ايش ذنبهم؟ ايش ذنب الطفله هذا جت اللي عندهم انتظار؟ ايش ذنبهم؟ قولوا لي ايش ذنبهم؟ احكوا لي يا عالم، حسوا فيا يا عالم، حسوش اصلا انتم كيفين علينا بتفرجوا علينا.
The twins, a boy and a girl, were among 5 children killed in the strike on a house in Rafah, according to Health Ministry in Gaza. Abu Anza said she had given birth to them, her first children, after 11 years of marriage. Relatives said the twins had been born some 4 months ago, about a month into the war, which began on October 7. The members of the Abu Anza family killed in the strike were lined up in black body bags. Gaza's health ministry has said at least 15 children have died in the past few days from malnutrition and dehydration at the Kamal Adwan hospital in Gaza City, hours after UNICEF chief warned against acute malnutrition in the besieged enclave. Meanwhile, Palestinian civil defense released a video showing crews conducting a rescue operation in Rafah. They said the crews were in the house of Abu Anza family, which was targeted by Israeli planes in the neighborhood of Salam, East Rafah. More than 1 million Palestinians have been seeking refuge in the Rafah area, fleeing an Israeli offensive that has laid waste to much of Gaza and killed more than 30,400 people, according to health authorities. Over 30,000 protesters, organizers said, gathered in Seoul to stage a mass rally and protest against a government plan to increase medical school admissions. The South Korean government plans to increase medical school admissions by 2,000, starting from 2025, to remedy what it said is a shortage of doctors in one of the world's fastest aging societies. Thousands of young doctors have stopped working in major hospitals this month, straining emergency departments. Authorities last Friday stepped up pressure to end the walkout, with South Korean police launching a raid targeting officials of the Korean Medical Association. The government had given Thursday as the deadline for the doctors to return or face penalties, but health ministry data showed more than two-thirds of the doctors, trainee in fact, or nearly 9,000, had ignored the call to return to work. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.